Good morning, everyone. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Sorry for being a minute or two late, but we were busy. We have to be professional today. We're wearing our poker coaching shirt. Just got off the phone with D&B Publishing for a minute or two. Talked about a few things. The children are all taken care of. We have our giant cup of water and our coffee. So I think we're ready to go. It's super hot in this office. Oh my god. I may have to turn on the fan today. Today I'm going to be recording a video series where I go through 50 hands from the World Series of Poker main event, final table, that took place just the other day. And it was an interesting one. There's a lot of crazy play. There's also a lot of really nitty play, which was neat to see because clearly some of the players really cared about laddering up and other players really did not care about laddering up. And that's exciting. It's exciting to see. Tim says, hello, you had the Venom score. Congrats. One of my friends, Justin Young, is at the final table. He's somehow using some website to share, to sell pieces of himself now that he's at the final table, which is a neat idea. Don't know how much vig they take. Don't know why you just couldn't sell it on your own. But it's interesting. Kevin says, yeah, nitty like folding queens pre-flop. Yeah, someone raised queens, Livingston, the guy who took third. Someone called San Martino. Then Gary Gates, 3-bet from the big blind. Kind of small. Small blind or big blind, one of the two. And then Livingston just folds the queens. I was like, huh? And it's pretty nitty. Pretty nitty. I think they thought Gary Gates was incredibly tight, which, he was on the tight side, but you can't fold queens. Unless you're just like, no. And it's hard to know. But today, we're not going to talk about any of these players. We're going to talk about the winner. We're going to talk about, don't know how to say his name. Ensan? Someone correct me. Ensan? I don't know. Should probably figure this out before I make my video, which I'm making as soon as we get done here. He was maniacal, but in a weird way. He would just like sporadically run bluffs and Ensign. All right, Ensign? Great. Let me write that down. E-N-S-I-G-N. Ensign. Perfect. He would sort of sporadically turn made hands into bluffs. And I don't know if he was like drastically overvaluing the made hands or if he was essentially like blocking with them. Oh, hi.
Say hi.
You want to say hello?
Yeah.
All right, let's say hello real quick. Say hello.
Hello.
Can you say, have a good day?
Have a good day.
We're talking about poker. You know what poker is?
Mm-hmm.
It's a card game. Do you love it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you love poker? Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. It's nice. You just look how big you are. You are so big. Yes. You have a belly? You have a belly? Ah, here's your belly. What are you going to do today?
I go play John.
You're going to go play with your friend John? Not me, a different John. He has his friend John who they go play together.
I have my bed.
You have your bed?
Ben.
Ben?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who Ben is. You have oh, Ben is John's brother. That's right. What?
It's stressful.
Yeah, that's John's brother. All right, you gonna go play with him?
Picture. Mm-hmm.
Okay, see ya.
Go play.
Can you say good luck, have fun?
Good luck. Have fun.
All right, good.
I go play Ben.
All right, go play with Ben and John. See ya. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, he would just like randomly turn Ensign. If I'm saying this wrong, someone correct me immediately. Ensign would randomly turn marginal made hands into bluff / overvalues. Like I remember one where he had like middle pair and a gut shot. And he like bet flop and then just like blasted turn. In a spot where I was thinking, you're probably only getting called when you're crushed here. And he was pretty fortunate throughout the whole final table to not really run into it all that often. He did run a few bluffs that failed. But, that's going to happen when you turn every hand into a bluff. I was commenting to my friends, and I'm like, wow, he literally turns every hand into a bluff. He's just like bet, flop, and turn with everything. Ensan? Ensan or Ensign? How do we say it properly? I should probably listen to the people. I should listen to the commentary. So, how do you beat someone like this? Something else. Ensan. You think it's Ensign. Someone's saying Ensan. You guys don't know. I know how to spell it. I'm asking how do you say it. Whatever. I'll listen to the final table. It's no big deal. I'll figure it out. So, something else he did not do is he did not run very many river bluffs, which is also very interesting. He would do a lot of pre-flop aggression, a lot of flop aggression, a lot of turn aggression, and almost no river aggression. Right? And that's interesting because essentially you just want to be getting to the river against this player pretty often. Ensan, like I was saying, perfect. You have the personality if a bag of sand. That is not a complete sentence. You have to have an ending to the sentence. Subject and a predicate. Ensan? No one has a clue how to say this guy's name. That's fine. We'll figure it out. Actually, some of you have a clue, but not all of them. All of you. That's okay. We'll figure it out. Okay, so how do you beat someone who is betting the flop and the turn a lot, floating a lot, like calling bets a lot, but then getting to the river with a range that is too wide of a lot of marginal made hands? Okay, so let's break this down. First things first. You need to develop a strong checking range. This guy loves betting the flop and turn when you check. So, what I would be doing here is I would be betting the flop with a lot of draws, also a lot of marginal made hands like top pair junkie kicker, and I would be doing a whole lot more checking with my nut hands. And I want to make it clear, this is a very exploitatable strategy, and in turn a very exploitable strategy. And that's what you should be doing if someone who's also playing a very exploitative strategy. To be fair, Ensan was playing at a table full of tight people. All he had to do was just apply aggression and they folded, right? He was playing a very exploitable strategy, and it was working amazingly well. And when someone is using an exploitable strategy, you can exploit them in turn and just crush them, which is great. But you have to realize that maybe they adjust, maybe they don't, etc., etc. Afternoon, where am I? I'm in my office in New York City. This is what my office looks like. If it looks like this, I'm in New York City. If it doesn't look like this is a green screen back here. Oh, don't touch it. They won't. Then they don't know it's a green screen. This is a green screen back here. So yes, we're in New York City. So first off, you need to be developing a strong checking range. If you have a strong checking range, and your opponent's going to be betting very frequently, that's fantastic because all you have to do is check, call. Now, it's kind of weird that when you go check, call with strong hands, he's not going to be bluffing the river all that often. So you need to be doing a lot of check, call lead, which is weird. You don't want to be doing that very often. But once you check, call lead a few times, and a hero calls you with middle pair, because that's how he was playing, he's going to stop calling you with middle pair, presumably. In which case, then you start doing a lot of check, call lead with really junky made hands, with bluffs, etc., etc. And that's going to put him in a really, really nasty spot. So that's something you could do. You could also just value bet relentlessly. Like I said, if he's going to be calling down with middle pair, just go bet, top pair, no kicker. He wasn't doing a whole lot of raising on any street unless, well, he did it sometimes. He wasn't doing a whole lot of turn and river raising. So, given he wasn't doing a whole lot of turn and river raising, then that allows you to value bet thinner. Where can you play tournaments in Manhattan? You don't play tournaments in Manhattan. In Manhattan, you work. Manhattan is a city where you work a lot. You work a lot. All right, let's see if I can click this video clip real quick and listen. Ensan? Ensan. E-N-S-E-N. That's how I would say that. None of you said that. E-N-S-E-N. Okay, so next, you want to be value betting relentlessly because he's going to end up calling down on the turn in the river a little bit wide. And that means, like, say you do have top pair marginal kicker, just go bet, 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 right? Maybe check flop. If he checks, then you bet turn and bet river. Essentially, I would not be so afraid of turn and river aggression because that just wasn't what he was doing, right? Also, what you may want to do is check call with marginal made hands, but then fold if he blasts again on the river. R. Galloway says he's not pronouncing it right. That's why none of you said it that way. I'm just going to watch the World Series. I'm not going to trust any of you. Sorry. So yeah, let's talk about a wild hand where I don't exactly remember it. Essentially, I think Gary Gates raised preflop. Ensan called king 9 suited from the big blind or small blind, one of the two. Flop came like king blank blank. Ensan checked. Gary Gates bet flop. Ensan called. Turn was a blank as well. Ensan checked. Gary Gates bet again, which I do not like. Ace 10 is not a good barrel hand there. Ensan called. River like completed a flush or something. Ensan led, and then Gary Gates raised small, which I do not like either. If you're going to raise there, you need to blast it. That's the Gary Gates river to 10. He rivered middle pair. So in that scenario against Ensan, I think I would just call. Twitch says I'm playing Hearthstone. Twitch is wrong today. Thought I fixed that. I guess I didn't. Oh well. I'll fix that after tomorrow. We're playing poker. We're talking about poker today. Speaking about playing poker on Twitch, I've been thinking about streaming myself playing poker coaching quizzes. If y'all are interested in that, let me know. Because we have lots of quizzes, and we might as well play all of them for you. We'll see how different I play than the other coaches. So it's hard to have any idea what his leading range is there, which I completely agree with. So call with your made hands, fold everything else. Jam with some bluffs that have the best blockers, which will be, I guess, queen and jack, because I think those block the straight. Maybe ace high flush, busted ace high. The thing is, like, really, you shouldn't be barreling too often with ace high there, because ace high just has a lot of showdown value, or at least a decent amount of showdown value. So it's kind of a weird spot. Anyway, I like the idea of calling. And that's just because you learn a decent amount. Also, you don't risk a ton, right? Like, imagine he does just somehow have a flush there. Or imagine he has a, like, two pair or something that he's leading and not going to fold. You really just don't want to blast it off there for lots of chips. So I think I would like calling. So yeah, I think I prefer call. I would not fold. One thing that is worth mentioning, against very loose, aggressive, splashy players like Ensan is, I would very clearly be happy to pay him off, essentially. Anytime someone is very splashy, very loose, very aggressive, you have to be happy paying them off. Except, very big if, Ensan goes bet, bet, bet. Every time, I think, he went bet, 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 he had a pretty strong hand. Maybe not the super nuts, but anytime he went bet, 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 I think you need to be folding against him. And the neat thing about the World Series final table is you get to watch it on 30-minute delay. I remember there was a hand, actually, where San Martino called on the river with, like, a bluff catcher. A good bluff catcher. I think he had, like, a middle pair and a draw, and the draw blocked the nuts. It's like a fine bluff catcher, but I wouldn't be bluff catching against him, which is weird because he's playing lots of hands, but he's getting to the river with a lot of junk. So now the next question is, should you be bluffing him on the river, right? Should you just be like floating flop, floating turn, bluffing river? And that's risky, right? And a good thing about Ensan's strategy is that he forces you, like the spot where he's super exploitable, is probably the river. The problem though is that by the time you get to the river, you're playing for a gigantic pot and you really don't want to be running big bluffs, right? So it's pretty sweet play. Do any poker players stake others? I stake other people sometimes. This World Series went poorly besides Daniel Negreanu, who pulled me out of the hole right at the end. That's actually how it goes, by the way. If you ever are staking or playing tournaments or whatever, you're going to find you're always down in the beginning because people lose faster than they win. And it's always fun whenever they pull you out at the end. Let's see. Who is a worse player? Qui Win or Ensan. I actually don't think Ensan's that bad. I think he did a lot of things that worked great against his opponents. And you can't say someone's playing poorly when it works great against the opponents. He did run a little bit hot, right? Like some of his bluffs succeeded, some of his value bets succeeded. He did a very good job of not losing maximum a few times when he had a very clear marginal made hand. Like there was one in heads up where he like turned 2-pair and got his opponent rivered better 2-pair, and he like only lost some, which is great, like, right? Like a lot of people just check jam river and lose all their money. So he did a very good job of not losing a lot whenever he was set up, and I think he generally played well. What's my thought on San Martino's behavior when the chips were miscounted? I mean, he's an Italian guy. Italian guys are going to be Italian guys. They get excited. They have emotions. And look, if someone screws up at the World Series very deep in the tournament, I would be unhappy too. That said, you can't do anything about it. Someone's calling me. Front desk is calling me. Don't know what that means. It's tough because whenever you are very deep in a tournament, you've been playing poker for like 7 days or whatever it was, your brain's messed up, okay? Your brain is fried. You are tired. You are probably, you have all of the adrenaline going in you for 7 days. And it's very easy to get emotional. And to be fair, they counted the chips wrong. They screwed up. I don't actually even remember the spot, but it's a scenario where it probably doesn't matter all that much. To be fair, Jack Effel should not have said what he said. I think he said, like, if you're calling 17, you're calling 22, which, it's probably true, but does not need to be said. And I think he apologized for that later, as he should, so good job to Jack. But, emotions run high deep in tournaments, and you got to realize, like, these guys have been at the World Series, not just for the main event, but for, like, 2 months. Everybody's whooped, and stuff happens. Someone's looking to stake your poker game. Brandon, no one is going to be looking to stake your poker game unless you have great results, especially over like a long period of time. And that's basically it. You need to have great results. Or you need to be playing a super soft tournament like the World Series main event. And if you can post a reasonable sentence on Twitter, I probably would have bought a piece of you in the main event. I did that a few times this year, and none of them worked out. But if you're selling at almost no markup, if you're selling to very soft events, and you have a decent track record, then, maybe you can get backing. If you have no results, you're a consistent loser, and you have to come to my video and post, hey, someone give me money, you're probably not a good candidate to get backing. What percentage does your hand improve just because it's connected? It's not really the right way to think about it. You want to ask how much equity do you gain in terms of being able to barrel in various scenarios. Because the obvious bluffs are flush draws, right? And backdoor flush draws. And if, like, say you raise 7-6 offsuit, you just never have a backdoor flush draw, or essentially never. But with, like, 7-6 suited, you flop a backdoor flush draw a lot, which allows you to bluff more often. So it's not just, I get it all in with this hand against this hand, because you're not all in a lot of the time, right? Being suited is very important. And also it helps you stay balanced, because you don't actually want all the 7-6 in your range, but you want some. And a nice way to stay balanced is to play the best ones, the suited ones. So yeah. Let's see. So yeah, really, you always want to ask when you're playing at a table and you get to see your opponent's cards, what are the opponents doing incorrectly? Right? And then you maximally exploit that. So I think that's very important. Does being an African American hurt you in networking in the poker community? I personally don't think so. I'm trying to think. I have 2 African American friends who are in my close group of 15 friends. One of the biggest stakers out there is an African American guy. Actually, he's, I guess, African British guy. Is that a thing? I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know about these things. But I don't think so. It depends. Look, your actions are incredibly, incredibly important, okay? And if you have bad actions, as some people do, that's very, very bad for you. So there have been a few players recently who are African Americans who have essentially been accused of cheating, not paying back backers, etc., etc. And to be fair, there are like white people too who have the same issue. And yeah, that's going to hurt your networking. If you screw people, that's going to hurt your networking. And that's the case for everyone. And it's not so noticeable when a random white person like myself does something shady, because it happens every once in a while, right? But whenever there are only, a small number of African American people in the community, and one of them does something while out of line, they're like, oh, it like stands out a little bit more. And so, I mean, I'm not going to say African American people are at a disadvantage right off the bat. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't in the poker community. I don't know. I'm not in that scenario. I can't actually judge that. But if you ever think that you are at a disadvantage, you must be essentially perfect, right? A good example of this is me, white American guy, trying to get a deal from a poker site like Party Poker or PokerStars or 888 or whatever. If you are a minority, or if you're a European or like non-American, you have a way better chance of getting a deal than an American guy, right? It's just how it is, because they're not in the American market, obviously. So for me to have any chance, I have to be essentially perfect. And even then, it may not be good enough. That said, I don't think that there is any sort of significant disadvantage as long as you are a nice, good, reasonable human. And some people are nice, good, reasonable humans. Some people are not. Let's see. You're on the button. Do you ever flat call 10-6 offsuit heads up? Definitely play the hand pre-flop, that's for sure. I think you have a relatively shallow stack. I would just be all in. Seems like an easy shove. 10-6 suit is a pretty saucy hand. Go get Thomas. Yes. Go get him. See ya. 10-6 of diamonds is a great hand. Don't be folding the 10-6 of diamonds heads up. Whenever you're playing heads up, you can probably just use a push-fold chart when you have something like 8 big blinds or fewer. Limping could be okay. But yeah. Let's see. The dude came in trash talking, I had to block him. Look, this is a family-friendly show to some extent. Even though Facebook and Google banned me for making ads about gambling. This is a family-friendly show, and you have to be nice. So yeah. So look, if you ever are fortunate enough to make the final table stream of any tournament where they stream the whole cards face up, you need to have someone feeding you that information. That is heavily relevant, right? And if you see people doing things incorrect, next you want to ask, will this person adjust? Or will they just keep doing it? Like, Ensan just kept doing what he was doing, right? Gary Gates kind of did the opposite. He was thought to be a little bit tight on day one, and apparently the other days as well. I didn't watch the previous days. And if he's been tight on those previous days, then you probably should assume the same thing, but he decided to flip it. You want to come hang out for 1 minute while Dama takes care of stuff?
Yes.
All right, come here. Stand up. Stand up. So, some people will do exactly the same thing over and over and over again, and some people will reverse it. And if you can figure out which one they're doing, that makes life very easy. Now, I'm always a pretty big fan of being pretty exploitative earlier and then getting closer and closer to GTOs as I think my opponents are adjusting. But some people just don't do that. When's the drawing for the staking deal? Mark, it is not a drawing. It is based on merit. I'm going to be reading all the applications. For those who are unaware of this, we're going to be staking people. First, who are Poker Coaching Premium members. These are the people who are working the hardest on their games, who I know. It's an easy way to essentially vet them, right? If you're not spending a lot of time studying poker, well, I'd rather study someone who I'd rather back someone who studies poker a lot than someone who doesn't study poker a lot or study poker minimally. So we're going to start Poker Coaching Premium members, and we have a form. You should have gotten the email if you are a Poker Coaching member, and it's good. We already have a few hundred people that I have to read through, and we're going to be buying you into tournaments. I think we're going to start like $500 buy-in tournaments or so. We'll buy you into one of them. You give us half of whatever you win. It's not a good deal for us. We're probably going to lose a little bit of money, but it's going to be good for all of you. And, we get you out there representing Poker Coaching. Inevitably, one of you will win something. It'll look great, and that'll be that. Actually, one of the winners of a World Series event this year was a Poker Coaching member, which is a lot of fun. And it's always good to see the students doing well. But yeah, looks like a little Jonathan. You think you look like me? You look like me? You think so? Believe it or not, as a baby, I look just like James. You all may not know this, but I was a baby model. I won all the baby contests. I bet you could win all the baby contests if you wanted. Yeah, you think so? Sorry, we're busy making you go to school. Let's see.
Then why are you doing it?
You have a nice ROI, but a relatively small sample. Look, if you're a Poker Coaching Premium member, you might as well apply. It's free to apply. You might as well do it.
Mama.
What are you saying?
Mama.
Dalma's over there. You said you wanted to hang out with me.
No, I am me.
Okay. Well, that's all I had to say about this. You want to figure out what the opponents do wrong. And then, maximally exploit it. Maximally exploit them hard. Don't do anything ridiculous. But figure out how to beat them. And like right here, against Ensan, we figured out 3 things. 3 very, very, very easy things that you can do to take advantage.
Oh, not base.
Any advice for marketing? To your knowledge, sports agents for poker players does not exist. There's a company called Poker Royalty that is a poker agent. I used to work for them. I don't anymore, but they do great work. Some of their clients include Daniel Negreanu, Phil Hellmuth, among others. Clearly, those are the 2 biggest names in the game. Is poker coaching still $40 a month? Yes, poker coaching is $40 a month. We also have a premium level. Poker coaching for $40 a month gets a bunch of new quizzes every month. Also, we have a new homework challenge every month. And we do live webinars for all of you.
Come on.
All right, say bye-bye.
Let's see
Bye-bye.
what Dama made.
Do you say good luck again?
You and me.
Okay, go see what Dama made. All right, bye-bye.
What's that?
Yeah, that's robot. No, that's a fan. Go on. Rah. See ya. Poker Coaching has all sorts of new content uploaded each month, including webinars. We have Matt Affleck, Alex Fitzgerald, and Evan Jarvis doing webinars each month. They rotate on specific topics that you all request. I know Matt Affleck in just a few days is going to be going through his World Series of Poker main events, so that's exciting. I do a webinar each month for you where I go through an in-depth homework challenge, and there's a ton of new content there. Poker Coaching Premium has all of poker coaching, plus access to, I think it's like 70 30-minute long videos on very specific topics, right? Because I wanted a big searchable database of information where whatever question I have about poker, it's there, it's solved. And if it's not, send me an email and I'll make it. Also, we have the Cash Game Masterclass in Poker Coaching Premium. We're doing the World Series of Poker Final Table Review. That's going to go in and be part of Poker Coaching Premium. Really, we're just loading all of our content into Poker Coaching Premium. And that's the purpose of that. Is there a trial for Premium? Well, essentially, Brian, if you are a Poker Coaching member, go to the Classes tab, and you'll see some of them are unlocked. Not a ton, but some of them are unlocked. And that is a little taste of what is in Premium. So essentially, if you are a Poker Coaching member, you already have a trial to some extent where it's locked. Louis Philippe says he really loves Poker Coaching Premium. It takes things further and you enjoy it a lot. Good. Kevin loves it too. Good, 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 good. How old am I? How old am I? I don't know. I was born in 84, so it must be 34. I'm 34. Am I going to be teaching my son to dominate? When am I going to be teaching my son to dominate? As soon as he can read, do math, etc., etc. Do you think you played every hand scenario before? No, almost certainly not. There are too many of them. And the thing is, like, say that, I don't know how many scenarios there are. Say they're like, I don't know. Pretend there are even only 1 million, right? There are only 1 million. And I've played, let's say, 5 million hands, let's pretend. Odds are I will not play each 1 million, one of every 1 million spot, because some scenarios I'll play like 10 times, some I'll play 5, some I'll play 2. Whenever you have all those numbers, the odds that you hit every single one is very, very low. Where do I live? New York City. Because my son successfully bluffed me yet. He will bluff you. He'll try to, I think when you say bluff, maybe blatantly lie. So you have to fix that. Yeah, he'll bluff every once in a while. Brandon's looking to get staking. Sorry, Brandon, you don't deserve it. You have not proven to us at all that you deserve staking. Show us your graphs showing that you're a definitive winner. Have hard vouching references, etc., etc. I'll tell you what, Brandon, I'm actually part of the POCAR backing community. Go to POCAR, POCARR.com, apply, and if they accept you, it's like I'm backing you because I have a little piece of that, right? But know that they turn down almost everyone because almost everyone does not deserve it. Thoughts on the AI beating 6max? There are a few things with that bot that are not very scary. I'm not going to get into it. Essentially, I'm not worried about it. We discussed it the other day. Love the live feed. My mom and dad told you about it. Great. Used to play with them at Sammy's in Pensacola. I used to play at Sammy's in Pensacola. Sammy was a guy who had a poker game, and it was a lot of fun. Is there a lifetime option for poker coaching? There is not. Turns out the payment processors don't like lifetime subscriptions for some reason. But it is what it is. The Dead Cat says, right, like even if there were only 1 million spots and I played 5 million, it's almost impossible I've played every single one. Does Poker back Americans? Rarely. Because, listen, the way you prove someone is good is to have them play lots and lots and lots and lots of tournaments. Americans have a difficult time playing lots and lots and lots and lots of tournaments, so you don't really know if they are good. And if you don't know someone is good, why do you want to turn around and give them your hard-earned money? Doesn't make sense. Ensan did a great job of pushing pressure on his opponents. He definitely did. He showed on TV that it didn't matter what your cards were. If I was there, it sure would have mattered. Just played his opponents confidently. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, he was blasting. And that was that. How do you feel about Fader Holtz claiming he's the best in the world? I don't know if he's claimed that. I think I actually heard him recently say that he is certainly rusty. I did a webinar with him. I've done 2 webinars with him in the last 3 months, and where we answered all of your questions. And I think he said he's not the best in the world. So maybe he was at one point. You can check it out at youtube.com. You can find the mindset one. The other one is in Poker Coaching Premium. Go to pokercoaching.com/premium, and there is an extensive World Series of Poker prep webinar that I did with Fedor. Is Randall Emmett good for poker? I don't know. Pros don't seem to like him very much. He's always been nice to me, but a lot of people don't like him. Let's see. Have I ever played at Parks? Yeah, Parks is great. I think I've played 2 tournaments there. Only 2. They tend to not have very big buy-in tournaments, which is enough to make me not go. Was it serious? I'm going to study mixed games now for Madisau. Maybe, if I find time. Madisau is apparently actually very good at the mixed games. Mark, we don't know what we're going to do with Inner Circle. We're probably going to end it once everyone's subscription's ended. But we'll see. The issue is, Mark, is I can't be doing 4-hour-long calls every other week. It's just a lot, right? And look, I understand that it's probably fine for me just to devote a day of my life. Think about it, like 2 4-hour blocks, right? Devote a day of my life to Inner Circle. We did the math. Out the door, I'm making like $40 an hour from it. And it's just not a good use of time. Not enough interest, unfortunately. We may figure out a way to roll that into Poker Coaching Premium. It's not going to be like a call-in show. Or maybe it will be. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We have a lot of time. I think we have like 1.5 years left or 2 years left. How big of a sample of online tournaments would you consider big enough to give a request for staking merits? Depends on your results, right? If your results are just like straight up, then maybe not a lot. If your results are like jagging and like barely up, probably a lot. I don't know, just apply. See what happens. POCARR.com. Tell them I sent you. What's my next tournament series? I'm going to Seminole Hard Rock Poker Open in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. They have a great tournament. Tony Burns is the tournament director there. He does a great job of promoting it. He's sitting at the World Series all summer, talking to people, getting people to come, and it's a lot of fun. It's a good tournament series. They have a 5K, a 10K, a 25K, I think 2 2500s. So that's what's next for me. You subscribe to Poker Go? I do. Did I have any deep runs in the World Series? I had 1 deep run in the World Series, the last tournament. One of my friends said it's an inspiration that I can go there, get crapped on throughout the whole series. Actually, to be fair, I only played for like the last 3 weeks, and I did kind of get crapped on. I made final 25% of a lot of tournaments, then lost a big hand, and I was out. And since the inspiration, I can still go there, play the last tournament, play decently well. I did play decently well. Got a little bit lucky in the beginning. I had ace, queen, beat, ace, king, so that was lucky. But after that, tried to play my best. Always had a big stack. Ended up taking 13th for like 25K, which is an okay cash, you know. I had 2 cashes this summer. One in the World Poker Tour Tournament of Champions, one in the 5K six-handed, or 5K turbo. And that covered all my buy-ins, plus a little bit. So, that's all it takes. 2 cashes in, I don't know, like 15 tournaments, which is about average. 2 good shots, all right? I took a 13th and a like 9th. It's always tough, because like if you win the last hand there, you take like 6th or 5th. If you win one more hand, you win the tournament, right? And it's tough to get close. I've had a lot of close runs recently. I've had a lot of 7th, 8th, 9ths, and it's really frustrating. But all you can do is show up and play your best. Is it good to have multiple coaches? I think so. It's good to learn from multiple people. It's good to hear from multiple people. And that's good. I got appearance money. Believe it or not, they don't pay me to show up. Why do I like sharks? It's a good question. My online name for the longest time was J Card Shark. Hey, I think my Instagram name is J Card Shark. Why do I like the sharks? Funny enough, the term is actually a card sharp with a P at the end, not a card shark. But I don't know. Why do I like sharks? They're fun. Actually, I don't really like sharks all that much. Just turns out that's what we're doing. What I like better is lion unicorns. I like the lion unicorns way, way better. Lion unicorns are a lot more fun. Big googly eyes, nice and fun, but rawr, they'll get you. Oh, don't be hidden, little guy. Don't be hidden. All right, let's see. Watch live at the bike. Seems like they didn't know how to play. Yep. Was this similar to the 5-10 game in the New Jersey Bellagio? Or maybe you're referring to Borgata. No, very different. Parks typically has $2,500 tournament, 150 entrants. You say typically. That means like very frequently. I don't think that's true. I think they have like one of those per year. I mean, that's a good example, though, of like why they don't run big tournaments, because 150 entrants isn't all that many. So, you know, it's like a very, very good place to play $1,000 buy-in and $500 buy-in tournaments, and there's nothing wrong with that. Do you know if the World Series circuit events are considered soft? And they're considered incredibly soft. Because a lot of the pros don't play because the buy-ins are too low to justify actually traveling to them. That said, like if you want to travel all the time, it's a great way to put in a little bit of extra volume, maybe make an extra like $200 a day or something like that. But that's it. You saw my tweet about selling the condo. You're the one who defended me. Yeah, I sold the condo already to one of my students. Nice, quick, easy sale. And it's good to have people who can help you out. Essentially, all my money's invested in angel investments, retirement account, my Manhattan apartment, which is way more expensive than the Vegas apartment. And I think I had like 100K cash floating around. And you need more than 100K cash, so now we have a little bit more. Also, it's worth mentioning now, Wealthfront has a savings account that you can invest and get like 2.5% interest. And I realized on the house I was making like 4 to 5% interest with the potential downside of like something expensive breaking. And so maybe it's like 3.5% out the door. So would I rather have the cash on hand or 3.5%? So 2.5% that's incredibly liquid, or 3.5% that's not very liquid. And right now, I would rather have the liquid money because, like I said, we had about 100K in liquid cash. Because, like I said, everything's loaded up. We have $1 million in this place. We have, all the money's locked up. And when all the money's locked up, you need to make sure you have some of it unlocked. You have a Vegas apartment? Badass. I used to have a Vegas apartment. Also, whenever I go there, it was always rented out, right? Now I usually stay at Palm's Place. They have a pretty sweet 1-bedroom setup there at Palm's Place. It's like $150 a day, which is fine. Anyway, let's see. Our Heartland Poker Tour event's soft. Essentially, look, everyone, any tournament that's like $1,000 buy-in and lower is definitely going to be soft because pros are not traveling there. It's generally thought there's something like 500 very good players in the world. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. but 500 very good players in the world, and they mostly travel to like $3,500 tournaments and bigger. So if they have 30, if they're, that's it, they're not traveling to $1,000 tournaments. And also you have to ask, what is your ROI in a $1,000 tournament? Let's say you have 100% ROI because it's a super soft event. Well, that means you're going to make $1,000 playing that tournament, which maybe takes you a day to play it. And takes you a day to play it, you make $1,000 a day. That's like the big day, right? $1,000 minus your plane flights, which is maybe $300, minus your hotel, which is maybe $100, minus your expensive food that you don't, and you may not even enjoy the area, call that $100. Now you're making $500 a day out the door. It's like fine, but it's certainly not getting rich. Whereas if you just go to a $3,500, you make 50% ROI. You're making $1,750 on the day, minus all the expenses, and you're making $1,250 on the day. It's like way more valuable to go play bigger stuff. Let's see. You're interested in the staking. However, you're more of a live player than an online player. Online, you play mostly. Blah, 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 blah. Let's see. Would your results be good for staking? Maybe. I don't know. Stu, go to pocarr.com and do it. How's the best way to study? Depends on what you like. That's why I try to have all sorts of study materials. We have quizzes, we have homework, we have videos, we have very concise masterclass in the Cash Game Masterclass, that 29-part series. It's included on pokercoaching.com. We have books, we have audiobooks, we have ebooks. I try to make it to where pretty much no matter how you want to learn, it works for you. And that's the goal, right? I want to be able to help people who want to be helped. We have podcasts, right? We have YouTube videos. I personally like interactive learning. I enjoy the quizzes, right? And that kind of thing is good for me because I like actually getting in there and playing. I made the homework because I like to have someone coaching me, right? And the homework does exactly that. So that's what I like. Can you write off the flights and taxes if you are a professional? If you're not a professional, then you can't. I am a professional, but if you are not a professional, on your tax return, I don't think you can write off expenses. All right, good. What else do you all want to talk about? I think we're basically done. Books are not included on pokercoaching.com, but you can go to jonathanlittlepoker.com/free and get one of the audiobooks completely for free. The homework is tough. It's designed to be tough. We're not trying to teach you all super basic stuff. We're trying to teach you to actually crush the middle and high stakes games. All right. What else do we want to talk about? Today I'm recording over, I'm going over 50 hands from the World Series of Poker Final Table for a product for all of you and for Poker Coaching Premium. It's going to be a nice long series. It's already hot in this office. Can you all see me sweating here? It's actually cooled down a bit, so that's good. But yeah, that's going to take a while, but I'm excited to do it. I love reviewing hands, especially high stakes hands, difficult hands, tricky hands, and this main event final table showed incredibly exploitative poker, which means it's also very exploitable poker. And we're going to be discussing how to beat all of the players at that table, and obviously it's easy to know that kind of thing in hindsight, right? Because we get to see all the cards, we get to see how that whole thing played out. But it's always educational. And I love learning from other people, and that's exactly what things like the World Series Final Table allow you to do. Let's see. Then next to the World Series, what's the biggest poker tournament series I play in? I don't know. I know the thing that Party Poker puts on in November at Baja Mar is a very big tournament. They have like a 25K, a 5K, a bunch of side events. So I guess in theory, that's probably the biggest one. I don't know though. Like, what does biggest mean? Like, I'm going to Florida and we're going to invest like 60K in 6 days or something. So I mean, that's a pretty good amount. I mean, and again, there's like bigger stuff I could be playing. They have like a 50K turbo, which I'm not going to play. Every tournament series I usually go to for a week is roughly like between 50 and 100K in buy-ins. So they're all kind of consistent in theory. And if they're not 50 to 100K in buy-ins, I just don't go because it's not worth it. What career do you think is best suited for a retired poker pro? Well, in theory, if you want a bunch of money, you should be investing in it and stuff, and then by the time you retire, you can be able to sit back and relax. Good example is my friend Hoyt Corkins. Played poker a long time. He's rode off into the sunset. And he makes loads of money from his investments because he has lots of cash, right? He didn't blow it all, and now he just loads it up and lives his life and enjoys himself. So I think that's a good career. I think being some sort of an analyst or like an angel investor is a very good thing as well. I'm trying to get into that a bit. And it's good to use the analytical skills you learn from poker to help others who may not necessarily be in the poker community or think about poker. World Series coming to Montreal in August. You're playing most of the events, says Louis Philippe. Good luck, good luck, good luck. Louis Philippe says you won 600 big blinds since the beginning of the show. It's always nice. Is there much of a difference between the blinds when the blinds are the same versus playing 1-2? A little bit. It's a weird question. All right, let's see. 40K, 200 big blinds deep, middle position makes it 600. Hijack, cutoff, button call. You in the small blind thought about 3-betting, but just call. Sure, I'd probably go ahead and squeeze though, because there's a lot of value in getting the players to fold. Flop comes queen 9-4, you lead. I would never lead here because you do not have the range or the nut advantage, most likely. But whatever. You lead, middle position calls, turns a 4, you bet 3K. He makes it 9K. Yeah, that sucks. That's why you don't want to be leading. I think this is a much better spot just to check, call, check, call, check, call. You really have to locate to Vegas to be a high-stakes grinder, where if you can't find games otherwise, then I guess the answer is yes. What's a good learning structure for someone starting out? Go get my basic books, Strategies for Beating Small Stakes Poker Tournaments or Cash Games. That is a very good way to start. Would I ever play the Triton series? Sure. I don't have enough money for $1 million buy-in tournaments. I could play only a few of them. I guess I could just run hot, right? Buy in for a third of my money and win. Did I play the Venom tournament? No, I do not play on that site. Louis Philippe is going to crush. I sure hope so. How many times have I folded pocket kings pre-flop in my life? 0. The secret is to not play kings such that you have to fold them. What a lot of people do is they like put in the 4th or the 5th bet with the kings when they're playing super deep, and that's just an error. It's a straight up error. If you look at a lot of the GTO solvers, they're like, no, you only want to be putting in all the money with like aces and a bluff, not kings. So if you do find yourself in that scenario where you think, I should probably be folding the kings, you probably screwed up. What does retired mean in poker? It means you're not playing it all the time anymore. It means it's not your full-time job. Vanessa Zelps is quote-unquote retired, but you saw her in June. Yeah, I mean, people go and play tournaments. I mean, that's their hobby. That's what they enjoy doing. You again. It's okay, I got him. Oh, it's time to go anyway. You have 50K at 1,500, 3,000. We have 4s under the gun. Just fold. Easy fold. Have I ever published anything on mixed games? I have not, but where is it? I just helped make this book, Mastering Mixed Games by Dylan Lendy. I'm not sure how to say his name. I edited this book. I got him to write this book. This is the mixed game book I wanted. It's a nice guide on many, many games. Let me tell you the games we have. Can you read this yet? Let's see. We have the flop games. We have Limit Hold'em, Limit Omaha 8 or better, PLO 8 and better, 40 big blind cap, Stud High, Raz, Stud 8 or better, Deuce to 7 triple draw, Badoogie, Badesi and Badoogie, Deuce to 7 single draw. Those are the games. Mastering Mixed Games. It's the book I wanted, so I made it. You know, most of the things that I make are things that either my students heavily request or things that I want, right? And fortunately, we're in a spot where we get to... Nope, don't touch the mouse. Fortunately, we're in a spot where I get to make all these things. So, that's it. Stop. Stop. Ugh. Is this book out now? Yes, it is. I mean, look, here it is. What? You don't want to go yet? I got that one at the World Series of Poker. So yes, it is available. It should be available on the internet. So good. Mastering Mixed Games. Andrew Nemi said cash games in Vegas might get tougher in the future. Of course they will. All games get tougher over time due to all sorts of circumstances. But people just get better over time is really what it amounts to. Louis Philippe says, if you get deep, you'll wear your badge. You do whatever you want, Louis Philippe, but thank you. Secret to life. Create the stuff that you want. Yeah, that's basically it. I create the stuff that I want. Another fun book that I wanted. I didn't make this one, but I greenlit the idea. Poker and Pop Culture. This is like a guide of poker being listed in popular culture, which is kind of cool, right? I love history about poker. And this is it. Poker on the Mississippi, poker in the Old West, poker in the Civil War, poker in the movies, at the newsstand, in music. Cool book by one of the high-up people at Poker News. So, help make this happen too. Make what you want, right? James, you are hard to hold on to. What's this?
Fire truck.
Fire truck?
Yeah.
Do you like it? Is this your favorite toy? For some reason, kids like trucks. He broke the ladder off of it. And maybe I should get you, you want me to get you a new fire truck?
Yes.
Or do you love that one?
I want that one.
You love that one? Okay.
Oh, you gave me a fire truck.
I think you can just live with that one. Who's the best tournament player? I don't know. Whoever's winning the high-stakes games. How do you deal with aggressive people who donk bet the flop for like 3x pot and probably have nothing?
Oh, look.
Are you kidding me? You just broke this?
Look.
Oh no, don't break this. Don't break this. Stop, 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 stop.
Come on, Jamesy.
I broke my fire truck.
What happened? You broke your fire truck.
You broke your fire truck. All right, say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Can I show Thomas real quick? Hi, big boy. Here's the other one. Here's the other one.
Come on, Jamesy.
Say hello.
I broke my fire truck.
It's okay. Here's the big boy. Can you say hello? Can you say hello, little
You
one?
broke your
You say
fire
hello?
truck.
Thomas has started babbling to us. Can you say something to them, to everybody?
Help me. Help me.
I'll get you a new one, don't worry. You want to say anything, Thomas?
Yes.
You're James.
I see this too.
Okay, let's see if I can do this. Let's see if I can do this. Come here. Come here. My two boys. Do you love Thomas? It's important to be friends. Are you Thomas's friend?
Yes.
Do you love him?
Mhm.
Do you see you on TV?
Mhm.
Good. Well, I have nothing else to say today. Those ladders always break. Yeah, because they're made of like loose plastic. I hope you all have a great day today. I'm not going to be here on Friday. Want to know why? I have to take you to the dentist. I have to take you to the dentist on Friday. No, not you. You don't have any teeth, Thomas. No teeth, Thomas.
There you go. It's my way,
All right, that's me it for today.
It's
Oh, what do you have?
my man.
A little man? What's his name?
James.
You named him James? That's right. You have a little man. That's me it for today. Hope you all have a great day. Hope you enjoy yourselves. Hope you run hot. Hope you have fun. We'll be back again Monday, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. I don't know what we're going to talk about. If you all have any ideas or topics, send them in. If you all want the past episodes of Little Coffee, they're all on YouTube. They're also on the podcast apps. So yeah. Brett says, thanks for everything we do at Poker Coaching. You're very welcome. If you all want free trial of Poker Coaching, go to pokercoaching.com. If you want premium, where you have access to my cash game masterclass, 70-something videos on specific topics, loads of quizzes, loads of webinars by other people, pokercoaching.com/premium. Have a good day. Bye-bye.